Most people view a Ferrari dealership as the pinnacle of car culture. They imagine a business where you simply order beautiful cars from Italy, place them on a marble floor, and collect checks from billionaires eager to secure the latest model. The reality inside the showroom is far more clinical. Owning a Ferrari franchise means operating a mathematically rigid gatekeeping operation. You do not control your inventory, you do not dictate retail pricing, and the manufacturer in Maranello monitors every transaction with an absolute asymmetric grip. This creates a unique financial puzzle. If the factory intentionally starves the market of inventory and strips the dealer of pricing power, how do these franchises consistently generate tens of millions of dollars in annual profit? To find the answer, we have to look past the cars. We have to examine how a highly policed artificial scarcity model actually functions on a corporate balance sheet. To even secure an initial meeting with Ferrari, a prospective dealer principal must prove immense institutional wealth. Maranello expects applicants to show a personal liquid net worth of $10 to $20 million before the conversation begins. That is merely the entry fee. The capital expenditure required to buy the real estate and construct the facility ranges from $5 to $30 million. These are not local car lots. They are mandated regional hubs for the global Ferrari community. Every detail is dictated by the factory. Showrooms must feature custom chrome and glass facades, specific imported Italian floor tiles for the service bays, and private client lounges where digital configurators are used to drive high-margin option sales. These massive upfront costs essentially strip the dealer of their independence. Once you have committed $30 million to a building that can only ever serve as a Ferrari showroom, you have to follow Maranello's operational demands to the letter to recoup that investment. This chart shows the standard margin breakdown for a new Ferrari. On paper, a dealer receives a 10% gross margin on the MSRP, plus an additional 5% factory holdback that can be earned back after delivery. In practice, very few dealers capture that full 5%. Ferrari uses a tool called the holdback deduction matrix to police the network. If a dealer fails to meet specific operational benchmarks, Maranello systematically slices away percentages from that margin. Selling another brand under the same roof costs the dealer 1%. Missing designated quotas for accessories, service volume, or online staff training takes away another. By the time the audit is complete, that final 5% often nears zero. The restrictions extend to the options list. Ferrari enforces a no-rollover policy that contractually requires dealers to maintain an average of at least $70,000 in factory-approved options on every single car delivered. If a salesperson sells a car with minimal options, they face a sliding scale of penalties. Selling a brand new Ferrari functions as a high-stakes compliance test. Maranello uses the front-end sale to enforce operational standards, ensuring the dealer protects the brand's global image before they ever see a dime of profit. The real money is found in the certified pre-owned department. Because new Ferraris come with multi-year waitlists, late-model used vehicles often command a premium from buyers who want to drive a car immediately. This gives dealers significant control over used car pricing. This internal accounting creates a high-margin feedback loop. To sell a car as Ferrari approved, it must pass a technical inspection. The used car department pays its own service department roughly $15,000 for this refurbishment. The labor and parts revenue remains entirely inside the building. This system powers a metric called workshop absorption. The goal is for the gross profit from the service bays and parts department to cover 100% of the dealership's fixed overhead. When a dealer hits that mark, every subsequent car sale is pure, frictionless profit. The core of the Ferrari business model rests on the allocation economy. Because the factory deliberately undersupplies the market, dealerships function as selective gatekeepers. A client cannot simply buy a limited edition hypercar. They must climb a loyalty ladder, starting with entry-level GT models and building a multi-year history of service and purchases. This relationship allows the dealer to handpick who is allowed to buy the most valuable cars. This was recently demonstrated by the launch of the Ferrari Luce. The Luce was the brand's first all-electric model, carrying a $640,000 price tag. When natural demand for an electric Ferrari proved soft, dealers used the car as an informal loyalty test for collectors. Collectors understood that taking a loose was necessary to keep their priority spot for future combustion engine supercars. While a buyer might lose $250,000 in depreciation on the loose, that loss is a calculated fee to secure a $3.9 million hypercar allocation. This tiered allocation system allows Ferrari to shift immense speculative and financial risks away from the factory. The potential for devaluation on experimental or high-volume models is carried by the dealers and their most loyal customers. Because allocation slots are worth millions in gray market premiums, Ferrari enforces an ironclad code of conduct. Buyers are contractually forbidden from flipping limited edition cars for 18 to 24 months to prevent speculators from destabilizing the market. In 2015, casino mogul Steve Wynn bypassed these guidelines. He flipped his personal LaFerrari allocation for a $2 million profit, selling it to an independent dealer almost immediately. Maranello's response was swift. They terminated Wynn's joint venture franchise license immediately, permanently shutting down his high-traffic showroom inside the Wynn Las Vegas casino. The secrecy and value of these allocations also invite crime. In 2022, the FBI arrested Daniel Lesson for a $3 million wire fraud scheme. He used shell companies and fabricated bank records to sell non-existent build slots for the ultra-exclusive Ferrari Monza SP1. Lesson's contracts explicitly prohibited buyers from contacting Ferrari to verify their orders, exploiting their fear of being blacklisted by the factory. Because these scarcity-driven premiums are so high, Maranello polices its network with draconian severity to maintain control. The massive capital requirements and complex allocation rules have effectively ended the era of the independent, family-owned Ferrari store. The global network is now dominated by publicly traded luxury consolidators. Groups like Penske Automotive and H.R. Owen now control multiple locations, using their institutional capital to manage the high costs of the franchise. These corporate groups are spending tens of millions on single regional stores to lock down high-yield service markets and historic restoration rights. The physical cars in the showroom serve as the evidence of a deeper transaction. The dealer's actual inventory is exclusivity itself, engineered in Maranello and guarded by corporate titans, who pay millions for the privilege of gatekeeping it.